Hi all, in this short video I want to show you how to create an animator with one animation in it. Okay, so this is a follow-on from the previous video where I showed you how to import a pixel art sprite sheet. So now I have it imported, the sprite sheet. Oh, that's not the one, sorry. Here we go, the adventure sprite sheet. So I'm going to start off now. I'm going to create my empty game object. I'll create an empty game object. I'll position it at 0, 0, 0, right in the middle. So I'll just reset it so it's positioned at 0, 0, 0. And we'll call it Adventure, Adventure, in honor of the tile sheet that the animations are going to come from. I'm going to create a animator component, not an animation, an animator. I've created an animator component, but I have no animation controller. So I'm going to create an animation controller. I'm going to keep these things organized. In my anims, I have a character, which is the character on the sample scene. I'm going to create a new character, so we'll call this one. I'll create a new folder to store all its assets. So I'll create a folder. I'll call it Adventure. I'll call it Adventure. Inside here, I need to create an animation controller. So I'll go create animation controller. I'll also call it AD Adventure controller. There's my Adventure controller. Now I'll go back to my animator, and I can drag my Adventure controller into it. And now if I click on my Adventure controller, click on the animator up here, we can see it. If you don't see this window, if you don't have this animator window, you go to Windows, you go to Animation, and you go to Animator. And I have it docked up here. So the way I like to have it docked, this is just me, is I like to have my scene and my animator here. And then I go to Windows, Animation, and Animation. And I have that docked down here. So I have my game and my animation docked here. So I've got no animation clips yet. So I'm going to create one. So I'll create an animation clip. I'll put it into the adventure, so assets, anims adventure folder, and I'll call it idle. And there you go. Here it is. It creates a new state in the animator state machine. But there's no frames in it. So I'm going to grab my frames. Now I'm going to go back to my sprites for a second, go back to my adventure sprite sheet, and let me just open up the editor here. And here you can see these are the sprites or the frames for the idle animation. You can see here that the names are a little long, but you can see this ends in an _0. And the last one ends in _12. So 0, 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth, up as far as 12. Okay, that's what I'm after. So I'm going to go in here to my adventure sprite sheet. Look at this. This is 0. This is 8. This is 11. So this is 12. This is the last one I want. I press Shift on my keyboard and I select the first one to get at all of them. So I've got 13 of them. And I'm going to just drag them in here and let them go. And now I have all of my sprites, my frames in my state, in my idle animation. So now at this stage, if I go to play, and if I go to the scene, there you go. You'll see it better in the scene, and I'll just zoom in. There you go. There's my adventurer idling. Although he is idling very, very fast. A little bit too fast for my liking. So it's currently playing at 60 frames per second. There it is, 60. I'm going to change this to maybe 24. If you don't see this sample rate here on your screen, you just need to go to the cog, click on the cog, and say show sample rate. So I set it to 16. I press play. I will go to my scene. Oh yeah, there he is. He's slowed down. So he's looking left and right and he's idling. Looks very, very good. So there we go. That's our first animation, which has resulted in an animation that results in an animation state in our animator.